This video is for Howard Lutnick, Eric Schmidt, Josh Hawley, and Jason Smith. When my 89-year-old mother doesn't get her Social Security check, she can't pay her rent on time. She can't buy the medicine she needs to live. She can't pay for her food. She can't pay her electric bill. That's what happens when my mom doesn't get her Social Security check. And then she calls me, and I have to handle it. She's worked her entire life for this money. She's 89 years old and been in and out of the hospital, and she deserves her Social Security check. So Howard, Eric, Josh, and Jason, you need to find it. I don't know what else to say.
Let's say Social Security didn't send out their checks this month. My mother-in-law, who's 94, she wouldn't call and complain. She just wouldn't. She'd think something got messed up, and she'll get it next month.
Yeah.
A fraudster always makes the loudest noise, screaming, yelling, and complaining.
So honestly, I don't know how calm the gentleman actually is, because this is absurd. The way he's talking, this is a person, look at him, his shoes probably cost more than 2 monthly rent and food and grocery for a 68 or a 98-year-old somewhere, And I love how people went ahead and claimed, this is a billionaire or a millionaire. So I think your grandma, she has other sources of income, For heaven's sake, you're personally the government, so you usually send something to your mother-in-law at the end of the month. So I don't know what's your point, my brother, but you are really, really, really wrong, and you must be ashamed of yourself. So let's read some of the comments here, actually. So there's this comment by someone called Kat, another politician stroke administration person of wealth, talking about things he knows nothing about. My 99-year-old father is on a medical. His Social Security check pays his medical premium, and then his housing charge is automatically deducted from his account. If the Social Security check doesn't come, no health insurance and no housing payment, his bank account goes negative. Republicans want to reduce the Social Security budget, about like cutting it about 10 trillion, I think, in the next 10 years, They are talking about increasing actually the retirement age to 69. This will affect the low income earners first, because it means a cut to the budget results to reduced benefits. Now, another thing, what will happen to those young age, those youth who want to get employed? Because if you increase to 69, it means there are people who actually will go without jobs, The current administration is having things like, like we see the economy is collapsing really bad, They may say that the economy is doing very well, but it's not, The main focus is buying Netherlands, buying Panama, or buying Greenland. But let's be serious on this. Let's be serious on this. One, the price of groceries are actually skyrocketing, They're experiencing inflation, Another thing is the price of eggs, They voted, you guys voted for change. You guys voted for actually reduction in the cost of living. But what's happening here, the price of groceries is increasing, price of eggs is there, people are being fired, there's no social security here. Another thing is you are being hit by high, electricity bill. So wake up.
Hey guys, I frequently speak on where we're at in America and how close we are to America's collapse and all that kind of stuff, and I give people the advice to leave if you can. I think now's the time. I want to give you guys another piece of advice that I think is really, really critical, and I feel like now is a good time to speak in it because I've just gone through doing it. If you have not cut people out of your life that are MAGA, do it now. Do it. End it. Over the last week, I've cut out my dad, my grandmother, my aunt, cousins, all of them. We got into a huge internet debate on Facebook. I never air laundry out on Facebook. That's not something I do. I don't air my family's laundry out. And I didn't. I was very polite and respectful, but firm. And I let them know that, no, I wasn't going to stop posting the garbage that Donald Trump is doing. I wasn't going to stop calling it out. And I wasn't going to go against my core values just because it offended their feelings. I wasn't going to do that. I got phone calls telling me to fuck. I got phone calls telling me everything under the sun, you need to just say yes, sir, yes, ma'am, no, sir, no, ma'am, and, be done and shut up and deal with it. How dare you, son? How dare you say the things that you say? You made your grandmother feel like she's the worst person in the world, blah, blah, blah. Dude, I don't care. I don't care. Out of my life, if that's how you feel. If you are okay with what is happening, if you are so far deep that you would rather call your son to tell him to fuck 5 minutes to listen to me, when you know full well I am the most successful, educated, done more shit in our family than anyone else. We come from a trailer park, dude. I'm a software engineer, multiple time startup co-founder, successful entrepreneur. I have done some great things. I'm really, really proud of where I'm at in my life, and for you to feel like you're smarter because you listen to Fox News, who I've tried to show you dozens of times, has been proven to lie and defraud their own audience at the expense of everyone. Screw it, man. I'm done. I'm so done. And I would encourage anybody, if you need that little push, if today was the push you needed, do it. Do it. Push them out. Cut them out. They need to know this isn't okay. History, this is the time. Like the boat's leaving. History, look at after the 40s in Germany. You had parents that had to explain to their kids that their grandparents were horrible people. You had people that had to explain to their kids that they will never know a lot of their family because of the terrible things that they took part of and supported, that they have friends that they will never know ever again because they supported the most disgusting thing to almost have ever happened in our history, certainly in modern times. MAGA is going to be the same way by the time this is said and done. They're going to lose. They're going to lose. The whole world is against them. The entire freaking world. Not Russia, but we've already proven they can't fight for shit. The Chinese military is so discombobulated and corrupt that they have absolutely zero force projection capability. North Korea, that's a joke. And if the United States, if Donald Trump continues down this path, the states are going to split, and half the states are going to join NATO, and the rest of the EU that isn't in NATO, and Australia and Japan and Canada and Mexico and half of South America, and they're going to get crushed. A lot of people are going to die. It's going to be terrible. It'll be disgusting, but they're going to get crushed. And at the end of that, you are going to need to look at your friends and your family and everybody else around you, and you are going to need to tell them that you either supported it, you condoned it, or you condemned it. One of those three things. You either supported it by directly being a MAGA supporter, you condoned it by allowing MAGA supporters to stay in your life and reap the benefit of your friendship and your camaraderie and what you bring to their family, or you can tell your friends and family that you condemned it fully. that you told every last one of those people, get the out of my life. I won't give you money anymore. I won't talk to you when you're feeling down anymore. I won't share, facts about my life or how my children are doing or how my wife is doing. I won't, none of that. You get zero access to me ever again. You do not get to know the future of your family anymore because of what you chose to support and what you tied yourself to. And this was a little emotional, obviously. And like I said, I wouldn't ordinarily air something like this out on a public platform, but one, none of them use TikTok. They think it's a liberal, woke mind virus machine. And two, you know what? If they do see this, if they do hear this, yeah. How dare you? How dare you? What did Neil deGrasse Tyson say? How sad of an existence must it be for you to think that all the world's scientists and economists and philosophers and engineers have spent their entire lives trying to deceive you, but that one man who's been proven to be a liar, a fraudster, and just a terrible, terrible person is your singular source of truth. You call yourselves Christians. You wonder why I'm no longer a Christian. You wonder why I left the church, why that didn't stick. Because I heard you my entire childhood screaming at me that I have to follow Christ or I'll go to hell. And I saw you do everything that Jesus told you not to do. And I saw you do everything that book told you was wrong. And you have the audacity to constantly tell me that I'm the worst member of the family, that I'm a terrible human being because I support the liberal Democrats. Life isn't going so bad for me. I'm in a big house. I got money. My kids are safe, happy. They'll go to great schools. They'll have success. I finished the argument. I'll let all you guys have this one because please go use this. And I told a member of my family after she told me that God was going to punish me and all this, whatever nonsense, didn't matter. And I told her, it seems to me like life has given me everything that I deserved. And it would appear as though it did the same for you. If you haven't kicked him out, here's your sign. Kick him out.
Well, I might not agree with his approach, but he's talking out his mind, and speak the truth and it set you free, Maybe the things like church, I don't agree everything, but, there are people who they see they have made a mistake, but they don't want to admit, So for your own peace of mind, you should cut those things that you feel actually it's the burden, and this is happening, by the recent many town halls that are being held, I see many Republicans actually, they are speaking out their voice because these town halls that the members were met with jeers, and crowd, speaking out loud their red states, So they spoke their mind. They realized they made a mistake and they want to rectify that, and that's why they are speaking. So this man, maybe the approach is wrong, but it's giving him peace of mind, and he's delivering the message that, you should cut the part that actually puts you down, Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, but it is insane that there are still so many people out there in the United States particularly that won't fully admit what is happening. They still are just like, oh, it's not affecting me. It's just, it's politics. Come on. Bernie Sanders and AOC had 34,000 people come out, not during an election year, not even really close to the midterms. And Bernie said this was the biggest rally he's ever had. And he's run for president twice. It truly is baffling to me how people can go about their day-to-day life and have everything that's happening, and they just choose to look away or have the privilege to be able to look away. People are so fed up and unhappy and poor, let's face it, that they are showing up by the tens of thousands to see two people already in office talking about fighting back. And don't forget, we have Tim Walz going around the country too, doing his own sort of town hall tour in Republican-held districts, where he's going to be talking directly to them about the problems they're facing and solutions that he can bring, because their own congresspeople won't do it. I keep saying this, but we are at a crossroads, people. This is a moment that they're going to look back on in history as like a major political moment, when Trump tried to dismantle the democracy that is America. Hopefully this story is going to have a conclusion that is good for everyone, except a few. But that isn't necessarily guaranteed, right? In the meantime, while we hope for that to happen, we gotta do our own stuff. We can't just sit idly by and, forget it's happening and pretend everything's all right. I truly don't get it. It drives me nuts.